Lee Grant in Teachers from MGMUA is not only the prettiest school board supervisor you'll ever see, but also one of the most formidable. I suppose.
Yes.
I mean, you are bad news in this picture.
Yes, I am.
In the best sense, because you're so convincing. I guess if there's a villain in Teachers, you're it. Sorry. What do you think?
Don't be sorry. I try to be.
Do you like an edge to a role like that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I like to get out there and yell at Nick Nolte.
All those folks that are in high school, in Teachers, are having what might be called a normal high school education these days. When you were in high school, or when you were in your grade school days, you were on stage.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, how did you juggle it? Because you did have a show business career back before your teens.
I was
Musically.
I was at the Metropolitan Opera. I hate to, drop names like that, but I was at the Metropolitan Opera when I was 4.
Yeah.
And
La
my career
Roccolo,
was
or
over.
what is that?
Roccolo. The Oracle. La Roccolo. And it was over when I was 7 and entered first grade. My early career, my early career was over, and then I didn't do anything until I went into Juilliard and went to the neighborhood playhouse and met Sanford
So
Meisner.
you were normal for a while then?
Oh, I was
Okay.
yes, I was normal in a certain sense. In another way I wasn't, because my family, my mother's family, was very kind of theatrical, and they either wanted me to, be a star or marry very well.
Yes.
Yes, which I never did.
I guess
was disappointed them.
I guess I'm wondering, as you watch Teachers, though, and see the high school education as portrayed, and think of your own education, what differences spring to mind? Did you feel like your upbringing and education was a normal one, again, that word?
Yes, it was. I mean, when I think of it, the absence of violence, I think there were so many things that were not there. There were things that were, the girls and the boys together. I think it doesn't make any difference how they look, what the hairstyles are and everything like that. But the absence of violence was the main thing. If I went to school and knew that there were guns or cops had to be in the halls because of, I have a 13-year-old, who goes to school now. But
listen, are there police in high school classrooms now? They were in the film.
They are in certain
Wow.
schools, in certain classrooms.
Does your son have a school like that?
Daughter.
Daughter.
No. No, it's not in her school, but she goes to private school.
Would you recommend your daughter and young people her age to go see Teachers, and why?
Well, this is a film which places teachers for the first time in the kind of perspective that they used to be placed in, where there are teachers who make a difference in your life, and where you I would like kids to take a look and see and understand that there are adults who really care so much about children.
And have a lot of pressures on them.
And have a lot of pressures on them, and who fight very hard to take the intelligence from their own heads and to put it into the kids' heads. Teachers are directors in many sense, and teachers go into teaching because they're caring people, and something happens along the way, like what happens to Nick Nolte in this. You just get defeated. You get defeated by a kid, or you get defeated by the bureaucracy, by somebody like me, in the picture. But the caring and the passion is what's wonderful. And
I saw that today. You were reunited with one of your teachers, mentors,
Yeah.
Sanford Meisner. Explain the relationship you have had with him as a teacher-student. Love to hear about this.
Well, when I went to the neighborhood playhouse, I was 15, and I had a very kind of loose, easy upbringing, and it was the first time that I was up against somebody I could not get away with anything
Yeah.
on.
Discipline's important.
I couldn't get away with anything. I couldn't charm him, I couldn't this, I couldn't that. It was, you do this, and you do your work, and you do your work, and you do your work. And if you don't do your work, don't come. And I had this kind of antagonism, that kind of antagonism that you have when you want somebody to pay attention to you, where if you can't get them by hanging around, you get them by saying, I don't care about you,
Well, you
I
can
mean,
charm
another way
me,
of-
I'll tell you that.
But because I wanted him to love what I did. It was very important to me. And I think in all the work that I've ever done, somewhere in the back of my mind is, you know, what would Sandy think about the work I'm doing?
Yes.
Because I know how tough he is.
Take a look at her now. Lee Grant, Academy Award-winning actress, film director, and also a fan of at least one teacher in her life. She's in Teachers from MGM-UA. This is John Tibbetts.